Have you been looking for ways to increase or improve your core strength while you're moving your arms in overhead activities, and or maybe just reducing your lower back pain or tension through certain movements? Well, I'm Dr. Schwindt, and today we're going to review the Pallof Press. So Pallof Press is traditionally an anti-rotation exercise, really focusing on engaging our core to prevent that rotational movement. Now today we're also going to demonstrate anti-flexion and anti-extension movements using the Pallof Press variations. First off though, for each of these variations, it's critical to note we want to have proper stacking between our ankles, knees, hips, and our back, spine, shoulders. As soon as we start to flex forward any of this, we're losing the main effects of our Pallof Press. So always keep that in mind to be nice and stacked. Now, first position we're going to do is going to be a half kneeling position. Maybe you have a Sanct band or Thero band, maybe you have a super band. Any of those are going to work just fine. Now, you're going to take hold of that band, wrapping it around your hand with the hand closest to the fixation. And now what you're going to do here is lightly push your hands out as far as you can, holding for 5 seconds at the very end, bringing it back in. Okay? So again, you have it wrapped around your hand, fingers interlocked, coming forward, holding at the very end for 5 seconds, slowly bringing it back in that eccentric phase. This is an important first, elementary exercise to start with, because we want to check out how our glutes are activating, making sure that our core is nice and level and that we don't arch our back. It's probably the most common mistake, is that we arch our back. Once you feel like you can do that amply, then you're going to progress into the standing variation. You still want to keep the band at about level with your chest. Same conversation here. You're going to go ahead and secure that to your nearest hand, interlocking the fingers, stacking yourself, coming forward, and then come back in after 5 seconds. Now you might be wondering, how much tension should I have? Well, the answer is just have enough tension so that way if you were to relax your core, it'll pull you inwards. That's how we start. You can always play around with a little bit more tension as you progress through this exercise. But at first, just enough so you can focus on the proper technique as you go forward and come back in. Now, perhaps you don't have any of these bands, or maybe you're wanting to work on more of an anti-flexion. Why would you want to do an anti-flexion? Well, perhaps you notice that in your squat, part that you fail on is you come down and then you round through your back. In that situation, working on an anti-flexion can be fantastic. That can be done by using one of these bands and anchoring it downwards so it pulls you down. You could also use a dumbbell, setting yourself up, coming forward, hold it for 5 seconds, coming back in, right? You can imagine here from the side, if I were to let this drop, it brings me into that flexion I want to prevent. So I am focusing on strengthening the entire time, while also making sure I'm not arching my back. Instead of a dumbbell, you could also use a weight plate. Exact same concept. Tucking it in, stacking yourself, going out, holding for 5 seconds, coming back into neutral. Now lastly, you can also do an anti-extension. This becomes really important for overhead athletes, probably the most, which could include CrossFit, Olympic lifting, and volleyball athletes. So for this, I'm going to be going in front of it, taking this band around my side, getting a little bit of tension so that way it wants to pull me into this extension. So I stay neutral. I'm going to be just lifting up over my head, holding there. This is where it's super common to arch your lower back. So remember, keep your rib cage tucked and your spine stacked. Chin nice and neutral. For the Pallof Press, in general, it's good to focus on higher reps. So between 8 and 12 reps, doing about 2 to 5 sets. You might want to do this as a warm-up to activate these core muscles before any compound lifts, or at the very end to kind of burn out more of the core. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this exercise, and we'll see you next time.